Hello, and welcome back to LIT Lisa's Initial Thoughts. Today I want to talk about my neighbor. Who is my neighbor? Well, I want to read something from the book of Obadiah. I want to read verses 11, 12, and 13. And they read, In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that thou strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into the gate, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even though was as one of them. But thou should not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that thou became a stranger. Neither should thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou should not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou should not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. So I wonder, after reading that, what is going on is Edom, the city of Edom, is their neighbor. And a matter of fact, they are making light of what Judah is going through. They were teasing them and believing they deserved what they were going through as the other nations rose up against them. They were very excited about it. Judah was really having a hard time. They seemed to be losing against the other nations. Now, as the citizens of Judah begin to run, Edom is given orders to kill or imprison them. And I can't help but think about that mass exodus as they're beginning to run when they're under fire and these nations, other nations have come up against them. When we saw the mass exodus leave from Ukraine and Israel and Russia and the different places as they leave when war breaks out. And good thing that the other neighbors, we're never told how they did receive those citizens as they fled, but hopefully they treated them better than Edom treated Jerusalem back then. So with that being said, how do we treat our neighbors? How do we treat someone that's in need of help? Do we say that they deserve what they're getting? Do we look at what they may have and realize, why should I help them? They should have spent their money better, should have did better, should have ate better, should have did all these different things that we can accuse them of doing instead of just helping them like God has called us to help them. When Edom saw that Judah was in trouble, they should have reached out to help them. But then as I was looking back to them, Edom comes down through Esau, Jacob's brother. And we all know that Jerusalem would be Jacob. And from the time that those boys were young boys, their nations did war against one another. Those boys had trouble with one another. So it really, after I was digging into it, it doesn't surprise me that Edom would not help Judah. And you have to really do some searching through the commentaries and things so that you can see where that comes from. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about the book of Obadiah and what it tells us about what not to do, because God did indeed deal with Edom for what they had done to Judah by not letting them in and not helping them. God did very much repay Edom for what they had done. And if you get a chance, you can read the book of Obadiah. It's literally just one chapter, and it's only 21 verses long. And I think sometimes we do have to be careful how we treat people, what we feel people deserve. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that and talk about who is your neighbor and how should we treat our neighbors. But thank you again for tuning in to LIT. Saints of God, until we meet again, stay safe, stay blessed, and most of all, please stay in the fight.